Probably the biggest selling comic book of the year. We're talking about it today. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic #1.
An unusual team is assembled in the first issue of FF.
And Science is the New Rock and Roll in the first issue of Nowhere Men. So a lot has been made of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic #1. We went to the comic shop, we didn't buy it. I came home, read a load of stuff about it, read really good reviews. This book had 90,000 pre-orders. And I was like, we've got to talk about it on the show. But what I want first, before you tell me whether you enjoyed the book or not, there's a debate forming around this book. Like, on one side you have the hardcore comic fans, or not all of them, some of them, that's usually what that group consists of, saying, well, this undermines comics. The fact that this is selling so much kind of makes a mockery when comics that we're really excited about and that have, I don't know, history behind them and big comic creators and big Marvel and DC aren't even touching it. Yep. Kind of makes a mockery of that. On the other side, people are saying, well, any good comics is good comics and it's good for the industry. Like, if it's selling, if people are getting into comics because of it, like, we should support it and we should be on its side. So first of all, I want to know what you think of the debate, and then what do you think of the book?
Okay, well, what I'd say to that is IDW as a company, their main focus is on tie-ins with comics. So their main books are Doctor Who, Star Trek, Transformers, Judge Dredd, which I know isn't, you know, it is a comic, but, and obviously now My Little Pony. So the thing that IDW focus on is if there's a genre, if there's something out there that hasn't got a comic, they kind of jump on that and they make a comic of it. Which, you know, if there's a big enough audience for something, I don't see why not. If people want to read My Little Pony comic.
I think the other reason is, like, people's problem with it is, well, the main audience for this maybe isn't what they're marketing at. Like, it's kind of been adopted in this semi-ironic way.
This is the thing. I missed this. Yeah. I missed this My Little Pony thing. I don't know where it came from. I don't know when it started, but I completely missed it. Yeah.
I literally, first page, what the fuck is a cutie mark?
I mean, that was pretty much my favorite, and I mean, we have it here.
We do.
You went out and bought it. How was that in the comic shop?
Well, first of all, it's like gold dust. Anywhere but central London, it's super hard to get hold of, so if you don't have a copy now, you probably have to wait till the second print.
I mean, if we're talking target audiences, by the way, you've got My Little Pony here on the front, and then an advert for Transformers on the back, so that says something about it. Much like last week, I've got to say, the quality of the book is fantastic.
It just jumps at you.
It does jump at you.
It's so pretty.
I hate saying this for a book that is probably designed for, I mean, I have to assume the audience is girls under the age of 10.
Is it though?
This book is
so steeped in mythology that there was no infamy, like cutie marks and Equestria and
either way, I think we have to say this is a comic book for a younger audience.
I think it's debatable, but go on.
I got really lost reading it. I got about 3/4 way through the book and I have no idea what's happening.
I sat there with Google next to me. I sat there like, because first I'm reading this cutie mark thing and they want to get, and I'm like, was it like a scout badge or something? And like,
I assume that.
Yeah, no, apparently it's like, whatever you're good at, like a skill, and then it sticks with you for life. And it's like a...
Didn't know that. I mean, the story's basically Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is interesting. You
have to admit, them dark ponies look pretty cool. So what did you think? How did you were lost reading it, but... It's weird, because I'm having to judge this on the basis that I am not the person who's meant to be reading this book. Yeah. Because I'm not a brony. Was there no...
I'm not.
How hard is that for you to say?
So, like, I've never heard of My Little Pony. For some reason, I know the song, but other than that, I know nothing about My Little Pony. So, the artwork's nice.
It's cute.
It's cute.
It's like, oh, a little
It's
pony.
there's some funny panels in here, but
And then, like expressions, there's good
like,
cartooning at play.
There's very good cartooning. That's a great way to put it. But this...
You didn't find any enjoyment for yourself? You couldn't take anything out of this?
I mean, I think I just found it funny that I was in the same way that watching something like SpongeBob I find funny. You know, I'm watching it with someone younger, they're laughing at these things, and I'm laughing at the things that they're not understanding.
Right.
That's kind of the enjoyment I get out of this. That being said, I'm not going to be picking up issue 2.
No.
Funny enough. I feel bad that this is the highest selling comic of the year, or will be, for no other reason than there are a lot of much better books out there. But if anything, this kind of goes to prove that the children's book is, you know, it's not dead. The children's comic is not dead.
Children aren't buying this. They're just not, like, and you
at $2.85, no.
They've. I mean, people are saying this is an all ages book, and I can see that. Like, there's a lot. As you said, I was pretty confused. Like, there's really a lot. Confused. If you're new to My Little Pony, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of shit, and I'm just like, I don't know what this. It's like a different language. I don't know what they're saying or what they're talking about, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's nice. I don't know.
I don't know.
I was lost. Maybe if I was like a bit more up on the lingo or knew the mythology a bit better.
I also feel as though they took for granted, and this is why I got confused more than anything.
Yeah, they don't think anyone who isn't a fan of the show is buying this book.
No. I think they took for granted their what happens.
Spit it out.
I'm trying. I don't know how to phrase it. What happens off the panel, I feel is too much action. Yeah. And so they'd come back and be like, oh, we beat them. Like, who'd you beat? When did you do that?
But there was such a funny line which literally made me laugh, where she was like, well, that escalated quickly and ended really abruptly. And that's such a great summary of stories for children in general.
But I missed everything in there. Like, they didn't have the in-between panels, which I found a bit weird. Yeah. But, you know, whatever, again.
Okay, FF number 1, the new Matt Fraction ongoing, sort of a tie-in with Fantastic Four, drawn by Michael Allred. I got the standard cover, and you got the adorable Scotty Young cover.
Young, what are you doing to me?
How did you find this?
So Michael Allred, one of my favourite artists, as we've discussed on this show, and Laura Allred colouring it. And then Matt Fraction, one of my favourite writers, who does Hawkeye, and I love this book. I absolutely love this book. Now, again, what I will say is I have no knowledge of any of these characters. I haven't read a lot of Scott Langer's Ant-Man. That's right, I haven't read any of Scott Langer's Ant-Man. No She-Hulk. I have no idea who Medusa is. And I kind of thought I knew who She-Hulk was, and I don't know who She-Hulk is. With that being said, this was a really nice introduction to the characters. I feel as though I will learn more about them as time goes on. The art, as always, is so good. I mean, I'm not going to go into it, but it's just beautiful. The man can draw all my books as far as I'm concerned. I want to see his take on all characters ever. Yeah. Because he just has such a unique style.
So classic. It feels so
classic. And that works perfectly with the Fantastic Four universe.
And it works perfectly with Laura Allred's colours.
Definitely. So I was a huge fan of that. And the story was, you know, it had enough there. Wasn't the most in-depth story, but again, it kind of told you a little bit about these characters. And then I know that going on, I will learn more about them. And I also loved the little sides with the students, which pays off at the end. Yeah. Love that. Because then, like, I went back and read the first one. I was like, oh, it is that? Smart. Yeah. I love this book. And the Scotty Young cover as well. Just that ties a bow on it. Loving it.
This is the reason I read comics. Yeah. I can't put into words how much joy, just pure joy, even looking at Michael Allred's art gives me. It's just the most... I had so much fun reading this book. Like, everything about it for me, from the simplistic story that shows more than it tells, to the just beautiful character designs. So this is the second book that I sat with Google at the side, just finding out all this information about characters that I didn't know. This is as close to a perfect issue as I can imagine. I just can't even express to you how much I love this book.
I mean, I didn't sit there with Google and I haven't Googled these characters because I know they're going to tell me later on, and I'm excited to hear about that. My only one criticism is that Michael Allred his style doesn't complement tragedy, which we get with the moment with Ant-Man and his daughter, and I feel as though it doesn't look right.
Yeah, but then it's played well because it's like Reed Richards going, oh, that unpleasantness. Like, just like it's played off well.
So those would be my only two things.
Best drawing of the Thing ever. Like the expressions on him, I didn't even know that was possible.
Fantastic Four or FF?
Which is better.
Yeah.
FF, but I'm so excited for them both to tie in and inform each other. And
yeah, definitely.
Outstanding. Nowhere Men #1 is the new title from Image. As I said in the introduction, science is the new rock and roll is the general theme. I couldn't really tell you what happens in this issue. Basically, it follows partly 4 scientists. You get them before pitching an idea, and then we get them after, where it's a kind of fragmented group, and they've fallen apart. And we also get a virus on this space station taking place at the same time. Great cover.
It's a really good cover. Oh, my going again.
Yeah, well.
Might as well. Great cover, great opening. Really enjoyed the opening, and then we stop with that.
Yeah.
I love the 60s vibe at the start, and then we get this kind of years later corporate structure, everyone's fallen out, and there's a virus. Didn't like that. It really just, I mean, this might be something that I agree with you, because you've not liked many of the first issues of Image Comics.
Yeah.
But then later on down the line, they kind of pay off. Same with Mind the Gap and Saga. And I'm hoping this is similar.
Yeah, because they're huge concepts, and in their first issue, it's a very hard thing to do to establish your whole world.
Yeah, and I love the start of it, but then after that, it just kind of loses it for me. But I mean, I'll pick up issue 2 because I'm kind of hoping Image Comics, they do pick it up a bit. But you know, yeah, the first issue, a lot of big ideas, not a lot of payoff, but I do love the cover and I love the back.
Yeah, I mean, I had a bit of a hard time reading this book. Like, and did you read the postscript paper article?
Yes,
thing?
although I can't really remember it anymore.
And it really does smell of this author is trying to cram the whole world into this book, and it doesn't pay off. And maybe it will get better, but also on a purely conceptual level, I didn't find this too interesting. Yeah. I mean, there's huge character biographies, and I just don't think as well that that's that interesting a way to go. Like, you know, what was so good about FF was the show don't tell thing that works so well there, and here there's a lot of telling. There's a lot of talking at me, trying to look at my concept, and I don't know, I'm buying too much, and it really didn't do enough to make me buy the second issue.
I just want more of that 60s stuff. If they'd stuck in the 60s, I'd have been game for that.
Yeah.
Science is the rock and roll, but they didn't.
Yeah, but yeah, right. So, join us on Wednesday. We will continue our search for the greatest superhero of all time.
Yes, we will. And then on Friday, we're going to be doing a wrap-up of the month of November.
We'll see you then. What the fuck is a cutie mark?